Hey everybody, it's Rod from the PhotoFair coming back at you with another video. Today I want to talk about value full-frame digital cameras. Now, it wasn't that long ago where that was an oxymoron, but a lot of different full-frame cameras have been introduced over the last 10 years, and there are now some real good values, some of them used and even a couple brand new. Most of these cameras you can find at the next PhotoFair, which just happens to be on April 2nd at the Newark Pavilion in Newark, California. Check PhotoFair.com for more information about that show, where you'll be able to find great deals on all kinds of equipment. Speaking of that show, we've got special guest Bob Holmes, internationally famous travel photographer, doing a presentation at the show somewhere in the noon hour. It might be 12:30, it might be 12. We're still working out the final details of exactly when he's going on stage, but it's going to be awesome. So if you've never seen Bob Holmes live and in person, PhotoFair, April 2nd, great opportunity to do that. So anyway, on with the video. Today I'm going to show you several value proposition full frame cameras. And if you guys like this video, I'll come back and do one on APS-C as well. We'll talk mostly about these cameras from a still image perspective. I'm more of a still image guy than a video guy, but also a little bit about whether those cameras are also effective for video use. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So this is really the camera that got it all started for full frame mirrorless, and it's still a usable, viable camera today. 24 megapixel sensor, and really just a pretty good all-round camera. You can find these for $300, $400, $500. I mean, hard to go wrong with the original that started the full-frame mirrorless revolution. The Canon 5D Mark III. This was the last full-frame DSLR that I shot with, and I replaced it with a full-frame mirrorless EOS R. This is still a very good camera. It has good tech in it. Solid. If you're okay shooting a DSLR instead of mirrorless, fine unit, you can find these for $300 to $500, maybe $600. So the Nikon D610 was a step down from the cameras like the D750. Still a good camera, DSLR, 24 megapixels. You can find these for $500 to $600. So if you're in the Nikon system and you want to use your glass, but you want to go full frame, this could be a great option. The Nikon D750, this is still a solid DSLR, even by today's standards. You're getting 24 megapixels with this, a real fast shooting speeds, and really good a dynamic range. Just a solid one. Probably looking more around $600, $700, $800 for the body on this one. The Sony A7 II. This is, as the title says, the best overall value on this list of cameras I'm doing today. And the best thing that happened to this camera's price was the launch of the A7 IV, because now this camera's 2 models back. This camera is still amazing. You've got the back illuminated 24 megapixel BSI sensor. You've got IBIS in this camera. You're going to pay $700, $800, maybe even $900 for a super clean one. Worth every penny. It's mirrorless, so you can adapt all kinds of old school glass, just like you can on the A7 at the beginning of this list. But this camera is still good, even by today's standards. Solid choice here. Okay, finally a high resolution camera on this list. In fact, this is still the highest resolution full frame camera Canon's ever made, with 50.6 megapixels. But it's a little long in the tooth, coming out almost 7 years ago. But Canon has discontinued it and closing it out brand new for $1,250. Used ones have now plummeted well under $1,000. So if you just want super high resolution, you're willing to give up dynamic range and processing power and shooting speed, this is your ticket in the budget world. So the Canon Eos Rp, this camera is still available brand new, body only, from Canon for under $1,000. So it makes this list even buying a new one. Used, you can probably save 100, 200 bucks, or maybe you get some accessories thrown in or something. But it's still a good value, and it's the newest camera on the list here. So you get 26.2 megapixel sensor, same sensor that's in the Canon 6D. It's mirrorless, takes all the new RF glass, easily adaptable for all the vintage stuff. This is a great camera, almost as good a value as that Sony A7 II. Okay, again, back to a DSLR again. Canon 6D and 6D Mark II, I lumped them together. Price range about $500 to $1,000, with the Mark II version being closer to $1,000 and the original down around $500. You got 20.2 megapixels on the first camera, and the later model had 26.2. These are decent, solid DSLR full-frame cameras. Nothing real exciting. I prefer mirrorless, but if you have a big Canon EF lens setup, this could be a great way to jump into full frame. Okay, this one here is almost unfair because it's hard to find them under $1,000. I have seen them under $1,000, but generally they're more like $1,100 or $1,200. But this, the A7R II, is the same as my best value on the list camera, except it has 42 megapixels. So it's a high-res sensor. You still get the backside illuminated sensor. You still get the IBIS, and you just get the extra resolution. So this is a fantastic camera. If you can find it under $1,000, great. If you're willing to push your budget a little and you see a nice clean one for $1,100 or $1,200, worth every penny. So that's why I didn't give it the best value, because it's hard to find under $1,000. I wanted to be fair. But this is a great camera, probably the best camera on this list. So there you have it. A bunch of full-frame cameras that are affordable. And who would ever thought that you could get cameras, good cameras, under $1,000? Whoever thought that day would come? Full-frame digital cameras under $1,000. But there they are, and I can almost guarantee every one of these will probably be at the PhotoFair on one of the vendors' tables. We've got a big full house show coming in here. That hall's going to be stuffed full of gear. Again, that's photofair.com. The show is April 2nd at the Newark Pavilion in Newark, California. Until the show or the next time we meet on YouTube, thanks for watching.